Hi and welcome to today's series where we'll be using a chair for our workout. It's not always easy to get down onto the floor for some people, and maybe you don't have the space, but at least if you've got a chair, you can be doing a lot of things. So we're going to start by just kind of finding a perch on your seat where you're not all the way to the back and slouching down, and you're not so close to the edge that you feel you're about to tip off, but somewhere just in the center where you can really feel the weight of your sit bones. So if you don't know where your sit bones are, we're just going to place one hand under each bottom cheek, and you're going to find out pretty soon there are two bony bits underneath there, and those are what we call your sit bones or your ischial tuberosities. So you're just going to take a breath in there and then breathing out. And then remove your hands, and what you'll notice is that you've got a better awareness of where those bones are and how your pelvis and the upper body is going to be stacked accordingly. As you're sitting, check that the alignment of your legs are good. So you've got your feet facing forward, your knees facing forward, your shoulders and your eyes. We're going to be moving a few of our body parts now, and what we're going to start with is just an arm series. So raising the arms up towards the ceiling, taking a breath in as you do, and then exhaling as the arms come down. And again, reaching the arms up and above, and exhaling, lowering back down. So as the arms are traveling overhead, you want to feel like your ribs are opening up and expanding like beautiful Chinese fans on both sides of your body. On the next one, we're going to take our fingers and we're going to lace them and stretch the arms forward and then raise them all the way up towards the ceiling so that you get your upper arms in between your two shoulders, or your ears actually between your two upper arms. From here, keep that sense of pushing the arms towards the ceiling, the hands trying to reach for the sky. You'll notice your shoulders want to creep up. So I want you to just relax the shoulders down as the arms are being pushed up. This is quite a challenge, to be honest, and you'll feel a little bit of nerve zinging that's happening. From here, we're just going to stretch over towards the right side, lengthening through the left side of your body, and then coming back. See if you can do this movement by still keeping the ear organization between the two arms. So we're not going to collapse an ear or an arm down onto an ear. And back up. And we'll do that one more time to each side. Remember, if any of these moves are too intense, just release the arms or don't lace the fingers. Hold at your wrist instead. That's also a really nice stretch to be able to do. And then bringing your arms nice and slowly all the way down towards the front. From here, we're going to send our arms forward and we're going to raise the right arm up and the left arm down. So creating a scissor action, and then circle the arms all the way around so that your left arm is in front and your right arm down. And we'll do that again. So right arm goes up and circle both arms out and bringing them through. And again, one more time with this direction. And then meeting the arms back into the center, we'll change left arm up, right arm down, and circle. Now, when you do this, it's going to be quite challenging and telling. Can you stay seated on the sit bones evenly? So your arms are doing the circling like windmills, but you are staying as steady as you can through all the rest of your body position. And then resting the arms back down. From here, we're going to take a little walk backwards. So with our sit bones, we're going to wriggle our bottom back towards the edge of your chair. And then you're going to come forward, so all the way towards the front seat. And then again, going backwards and then coming forwards. So now imagining that your two sit bones were little feet. And as you're going backwards, see if you can go with the opposite side. You'll have a favorite for sure. And the same as when you come forward, can you lead with the other one? So there's a lot of mobility happening through the top of the waistline and into all these fantastic muscles around our pelvis. And maybe you've heard of them, they're called the pelvic floor muscles. There are lots of them and it's good to get them moving. All right, and then finding your seat again, nice and simple. So from here, we're going to keep our hands on our legs and we're going to slide the right elbow back and look over behind you and then come forward and then do the same to the opposite side. So as we do this, it's not a whip around and trying to get your head to look up to the other side of the room. It's just a gentle twisting where you feel that the eyes are moving and the shoulders are moving, the ribs are moving, the hands are moving. And again, coming from that side and then back to center. So a classic move we like to do is called sit to stand. So bringing your seat again just a little bit towards the front And we're going to keep our hands just lightly resting onto our legs. You're going to lean or pivot your body forward as though your sit bones now are no longer contacting the chair surface, and then bringing yourself back up again. And again, just leaning your body toward the front and then bringing yourself over the fronts of the hips again. So can you do this movement with a flat back? So if I did that to the side, just so that you've got the awareness of what I'm doing, is I'm just leaning over the front of my thighs. I'm not rounding my back and I'm not arching my back. And then stacking back. So I'm getting the movement happening of my trunk moving over the top of my leg bones. And this is all happening at a joint perspective of your hip joints. And again, lean. The seat you can feel here is getting lighter behind me, and then back. We're going to make our way into the full stand now. So going into the movement, push through the feet and come up into a big stand. And then sitting yourself down, the aim is to still keep hands just touching onto thighs, find the seat and back again. Again, leaning forward, push through the feet as you stand your body up. And then taking the seat, really feel the sit bones widening underneath you and then finding your ground. One more time as we do this as the variation, keeping the hands in contact and then lowering yourself all the way toward the floor. From here, we're going to just let the arms be loose and have them dangle at your side. So as you come forward, they sort of go toward your feet and then pushing up, they return by your side. As you take your seat down, again, they're dangling to the floor and returning. So we'll do 2 more just like that, going forward and standing up and then sitting backward and returning. So this is amazing for your hip joint structure, for all the muscles around the top of the pelvis and the back of the hips and the front of the legs. And then we'll finish with our last one, coming all the way up into a standing position. From here, we're going to turn and go into a stretch series. So what you're going to do is the back of the chair is going to be with the leg that's on the open side, which means I'm going to be putting my right foot onto the top of the chair. My left hand can hold onto the top of the chair as I now go forward into creating a nice deep knee bend. So your knee bend might be different to my knee bend, and that's okay. And then just moving that leg backward again. So we're going to do very similar to what we just did in sitting, moving forward and moving backward. You don't have to straighten the leg that's on the top of the chair, but you are just getting a bit of movement now through your knee joint, your ankle joint, and your hip joint. And then we'll go one more time toward the front and then coming all the way back again. So we're going to switch sides. I'm just going to spin my chair around, and then from here, same thing. Left foot is coming on the top, holding on as need be. Now, if you don't need the assistance, then don't use it. If you don't have a chair back and you want to use a wall, make sure whatever your chair is close to the wall so that you can get that action happening. So with this one, remember your knee is actually going to go over the toe towards the front side. So it doesn't have to stop at the sort of width of the ankle. It can go over forward. And that's going to really be good for, you know, how we walk up and down stairs all the time. That's what we need. We need good big knee bend position. And then coming through. All right, so we're going to stay at the back of our chair now. And what we're going to do is have a lovely stretch of our spine and again, work those hips. So we're going to start with our fingertips just lightly onto the top of the chair. We're going to walk our body backward until you can find yourself in a straight line. And whatever that straight line looks for you, you might be higher up or you could be as low towards horizontal as possible. And then you're going to walk yourself forward again. And I know at first it doesn't feel like it's a massive stretch, but it is so good keeping your hands in contact with the chair and your feet underneath your hips and getting a nice long stretch through your spine and then stacking, standing and returning. We'll do that one more time just with this lovely long stretch, just focusing on the lengthening through the backs of the legs. Remember, you can always soften your knees if you need to, if the length of the backs of the legs is just limiting you from getting into the range of movement. So on the next one, we're just going to walk back a tiny little bit. So we're going to start kind of in a forward lean shape, and we're going to drop our hips down, finding that sort of long position through the body, and then bringing yourself up. And again, sit the bottom backwards and coming up. So this is a progression from our sit to stand. So we're using the hands as our anchor to the chair, but it's quite a lot of work through the legs as we are getting that fold in the hip. Again, you're going to visualize that you've got the top of the head and the tail in a straight line. And then last one as we take it all the way back from there. All right, from here we're going to take a seat back onto our chair. I'm going to sit in this position again just so you can see it from the side view, and finding that shape where again you are on the tops of your sit bones. From here we're going to walk our hands towards the back of the chair. Now all of us will have different chairs and that's quite okay. You just find where you can so that you feel that your shoulders have peeled themselves backward, and then letting the arms come towards the front. And again, taking the hands all the way back behind. Now don't force your body. So if I try to bring my hands up higher, you'll see my body goes forward, my shoulders round. That's not the aim. The aim is to keep the chest bone open and just having some guidance of where to put the hands. So you've got some contact surface. That's going to give your joints more information than if we just sort of spread the arms super wide behind us. And then again, one more time as we take our arms back and then bringing it through again. So you can turn sideways onto your chair or you can stay facing the way you are. And what we're going to do is a little side bend. So resting the elbow onto the top of the chair and then just reaching across in that direction. Nice long line, and then bringing yourself up. So to start with, I've got one knee sort of facing forward, the other one just towards the edge. I'm going to change my leg position in a moment. You want to come sit here? No. And then we're going to take that leg and just bring it back a little bit. So you'll be on the ball of your foot, hopefully, and then your knee facing more to the ground. And as we go over, you'll feel the stretch is a little different. So more opening through the side of the body from your lower rib down to your hip. And then one more time going back. Now, if you've got the ability to go even further, take that leg back so it's almost straight as the leg is behind you. And then we'll do that one more series. So 2 times over, stretch and back, and then last one, stretch and back. So as we're going through the series, I'm going to whip around and you're going to watch it from the other side. Remember, we just go where is comfortable, right? If you're going into a reaching over position and it's not feeling good in your body with the different leg positions, then go to where it does feel great. Last one like this, just a nice big reaching across. So first one is just, can I take my foot back and aim my knee as though it was hanging down towards the floor? And then again, a nice big reach across towards the side and upright. So the moves are not many, but believe me, when you do these, you're going to feel so good in your whole structures. All right, from here, we're going to send that leg as far back as you can. Nice lift here. Be careful of jamming in your lower back. So feel like you're still almost like you're hovering off of the chair. And then again, over to the side. This is the best one for me. Nice big side stretch. And coming all the way down the front of my thigh as I do this lovely big stretch across. Good. And then coming all the way back again. All right, so we're going to come up into a stand position again, and we're going to bring ourselves over to this direction. So we're going to go back into our forward lean shape. So take your feet nice and wide. Bear, we're not done yet, my love. So we've got our legs out wide as you are comfortable to go to. And then from here, we're going to start into a twist. So you're going to lower your arm. So I've got my left arm coming over towards my right leg. So maybe I can touch the top of my thigh, bottom of my thigh, somewhere there. And I'm looking underneath the arm. And then we're going to bring that arm back on top of the chair. And then we'll switch to the other side. So as you do this, again, be mindful in your own body. Never push to a limit that feels unsafe. Now, if you were comfortable here and you need to stay there, go there. Otherwise, see if you can go a little lower. What would it feel like if you could reach down towards your ankle and then coming back up? And then doing the same thing, sliding your hand down, looking underneath the arm, twisting through. So everybody's got their own range, and it's important that when you do these stretches, you don't feel like you're forcing your body to do anything. There's such a good stretch happening in the underarm area and a good stretch through all other parts of the body. So wonderful. And then coming all the way back up and coming in close. So keeping the hands resting onto the tops of the chairs. From here, feet are parallel position, and we're going to press ourselves up into a balance onto our toes and then lower the heels back down. Rock your feet so that you have your heels grounded and your toes up, and then roll onto the toes and lift the heels into the air. And then coming back and raise the toes into the air. So we're doing this forward-backward motion, which is a very common thing we call postural sway. Obviously, this is a little bit more intense than your normal postural sway, but it's also going to be feeling that you're building calf strength. And we've got one more like that going towards the front and to the back. Now, you could try all of this with no hand hold on. You won't go to the same depth or height, but it's good to try it without if your balance is good. All right, so from here, we're going to pick up one foot and we're going to work just 5 on the single leg. So pushing right up onto the ball of the foot. And as you're coming up, let's really imagine that there was something at the top of your head pulling you up, so that you're not wanting to swing your hips forward to get you up, but you really are feeling the lengthening to the ceiling, and you will notice that that calf is working so well for you. The calf muscle is just not the calf. There's also foot muscles that are at your calf area. And then bringing that foot down. We've got 5 to go on the other side. So again, how light can you be with your touch? And, you know, if you wanted to, you can give it a go with no hands. Again, a lot more challenging. But the point here is that I'm looking for good form and function, not just trying to see if you've got your balance. Like, this is the way to build yourself up. And then last one, I think, you know, I never remember how to count correctly. And then coming back. So we're going to take a seat to finish us off. And again, find that sitting position. This is so good for you so that you are not, you're not slouching in your body, right? So when you're sitting right up onto the tops of the sit bones, your whole postural positioning is great. What we are going to do is a tuck and a roll. So we're just going to tilt the pelvis backwards, rolling to the base of the sit bones, and then we're going to roll forward to the front edge of them. So in our back, we're going to be making a curved position and an arched position. Again, just side on, that looks like a rounding and an arching. So just getting a bit of mobility into the lower back. Remember, if that's not good for your spine, don't do it. Just focus on the sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to finish again facing forward. Cross one ankle over the top of your thigh. If you can't get to that position, lengthen your leg out and cross to where you can go. The ideal would be, of course, above the top of the knee and then sliding that leg in. With a flat hinged back, we're going to go forward into a stretch through the back of the glute and up. You'll see there's been a theme of this pivoting forward motion with our class today. So the more we can focus on our hip joints doing the work for us rather than our spinal joints, the better we're going to keep our joints healthy. And then resting out of that, and then we'll switch sides. So again, if you need to lengthen your leg or change position, and you'll notice one side's easier than the other or feels a little more lubricated. And again, we go into the hinge and forward. Be careful that when you hinge, you haven't got your head tilted up. So we still want to feel long through the back of the neck and through the front of the throat area. And then going forward and coming back. All right, come. He's been wanting to be on my lap the whole class, and now we give him the opportunity and he doesn't want to go. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right. So that was our class for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you get some good benefit. And remember, you can do this in any chair, your desk chair. You can do it while you're waiting at an airport. You could do it in an aeroplane. Wherever you find yourself where you need to stretch your body out and just have a really good experience, then give this one a go. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.